you please shut the fuck up? My name is Ben Moore. Degree, Commerce, and year of study 2.
Awesome. So what is your campaign colour and what is your slogan?
My campaign colour is green, lime green, and my slogan, couldn't care less, vote more.
Who is your campaign manager?
Can we have a name for this?
Oh, no.
Alright.
Just one name, a letter.
Charles.
Charles, okay.
And what is your favourite USU outlet?
I've never been and will never go to any USU outlet. And honestly, I'm quite offended that you'd suggest that I would even do such a thing.
On to some political questions. How would you describe your politics?
How would I describe my politics? Well, I suppose my politics would be sort of apolitical. I really am quite independent in this race. I feel as if there's a real sense at the university that no one gives a single shit about the USU. I'm going to capitalize on that apathy. Yeah.
Okay. Are there any factions you're a part of? Have you campaigned for anyone, or are you a member of a political party?
To the best of my knowledge, no.
You mentioned before that you were independent, though in your policy document you do make reference to Liberal Bryson Constable. What is your affiliation with Bryson Constable?
Constable Bryson is very special to me. We've known each other for many years, and I wish him all the best in this campaign, but I will crush his soul and defeat him when it comes to the polls.
Alright, so what inspired you to run for the USU board?
Basically, I saw that there was an application form that was there that I could fill out. I saw that it didn't cost anything; it was free, and I could apply. And I just had this, exoskeleton lying around, and I figured better put it to good use.
What is the USU to you?
Well, Frank, I don't even know what USU stands for. University Student Union, Sydney Student. I don't even know. What it is I'm pretty sure it's in. Is this the Wentworth building? I'm pretty sure it's in this building. That's as much as I know about it.
So, among the 10 other candidates running this year, what makes your campaign different from others?
I think that's pretty self-explanatory.
Are there any other candidates you identify closely with or share views with?
Not at all. I'm fiercely opposed to all other candidates, and it should be noted that my preferences will recognise that I will only be supporting other candidates that really don't want to do anything positive and don't want to move anything forward in any way.
Okay.
The spending cap for this year is set at $700 per candidate. Do you intend to exhaust that spending cap?
I intend to spend the money that was given to me for some reason by the USU. I really don't know why they did that. There should be much. This is one of my policies as well. It should be much harder to become a candidate for the USU board elections. I mean, frankly, year after year, all we see are these silly joke candidates coming in, and these ridiculous policies, which to be fair are quite funny. It's quite hilarious. Transparency, more funding, haha. But when a real candidate like me comes out, we just get drowned out by all this silly nonsense. So that's why, when I'm elected to the board, I will install myself as permanent Lord Prime Minister, Supreme Military Commander of the USU for all eternity.
So how do you intend to make it harder for people to become USU board directors? You mentioned...
Sure, well, as I just said, I'm going to get rid of the democratic process and just put myself in there, for all time.
All right. Yeah, what role do you think politics plays in decisions on the USU board?
Well, I think everyone on the USU board really is just people trying to kickstart their political careers, of course. So they're all trying to suck up to all the Labour and the Liberals. Oh, very good, very well done. But frankly, I'm not a part of it. I'm not interested, and I'm just a big green guy who wants your vote. Sorry.
This fucking guy.
Which candidate would you support for president in executive elections, either a current director or a successful candidate at this election?
I think the candidate Ben Moore shows some real potential, some leadership potential. I think a lot of people are going to overlook him just because he looks a little different to everybody else. He's he's a big green guy. I'm not going to hold that against him. I think once he gets in, we'll get him to be president.
Alright. Do you think the USU has a transparency issue? And if so, what steps would you take to make the USU more transparent?
Like I said, I really have no idea what's going on at the USU. They could have a transparency issue. I would not be aware of it.
So how will you manage your time next semester to balance your directorship? Do you plan to reduce study or workload?
Great question. So currently I spend 0% of my time studying for my degree, and that leaves 100% of my time to devote to the USU board. In addition, I will be programming an ankle bracelet to shock me with electricity if I do not spend at least 26 hours per day focusing on my role as a board director. So I'm just going to be constantly devoted to the board for fear of electrocution.
One of your policy goals was that you would end the war in Ukraine.
That's right.
How?
Well, I think clearly once I'm president of the USU and I just sort of send that message out there, the troops will sort of, it'll be a sort of Christmas armistice, if you will. They'll look and they'll go, this guy, he understands. We need peace. This needs to stop. Putin will get down off his horse and go, you know what? I'll shake his hand. I'll go, we forgive you, Putin. As long as it stops, it's all good. And that's really how it's going to happen.
In terms of starting the war with New Zealand, how do you aim to do that?
Yeah, of course. Well, I'll head over there, obviously. I'll probably start by, inserting some sleeper agents and just sort of, get the people at the North Island really riled up about all those, sheepies in the South Island, and get the people in the South Island, really frustrated about everyone in the North Island, and just over that channel, I'm not sure what it's called, but over that body of water will ensue, a fierce and endless battle.
So before you mentioned that your presence in Ukraine would spark a Christmas Day armistice, do you see that happening during your plans to start a war in New Zealand?
No, not at all. I'll be extremely inflammatory when I'm in New Zealand. I'm a very different sort of personality. That's the great thing about me, is I really am duplicitous in my approach to my role as, well, I will be president of the USU board. And I'll be able to, achieve various outcomes in various different situations, which is something I think a lot of the other candidates lack. Not a lot of the other candidates could both stop the war in Ukraine and start a civil war in New Zealand, and I think that's really what sets me apart.
I will just ask a question about communication. So when we were trying to organise this interview with you, you didn't answer for some time. You just told one of our editors that you had a girlfriend and couldn't do the interview. Do you plan to take this same approach when being approached for comment at Honi, or when you're asked to do your duties as a USU board director?
Sure. Well, I'll just start by wholeheartedly rejecting the premise that you guys tried to organise this interview. I've been texting you for months, and we set up outside, and we said we're ready for the interview. You guys arrived 45 minutes late. In response to me claiming, that I have a girlfriend, one of your editors was coming on to me extremely hard, and there was nothing I could do. I had to turn him down. I don't hold any animosity to him for his actions. I can't blame him. I mean, look at me. But it's true. I can't be doing two-timer. I'm not that kind of man. In response to whether I will be cooperating with Honi or any other of the university media establishments, of course I will try to reject any request for comment. The USU is a joke. Let's at least make it a funny one.